So good afternoon all. And we had some very interesting exchanges this morning about how bad bureaucracies are. But I think we should reflect in a setting that is quite unconventional when talking about reforms, of the event that bureaucracies could actually be an enabler, a facilitator for reforms. And I would like to talk with you about three very concrete things. First, what can the European Commission, through the technical support instrument, do to support the implementation of hands-on reforms? Second, what does compact stand for? And the third, how you can concretely ask for help to design meaningful reforms. And to start with some rhetorical questions. If you could paint the ideal bureaucracy, how would it look like? Or how would a good bureaucracy design and deliver policies, provide good public services, interact with citizens, anticipate change, and how it would be to work for such a bureaucracy? Would you like to work in such an environment? And in this slide, you see the allegory of good government, a fresco cycle painted by Ambrogio Lorenzetti in Siena's town hall. It has a very powerful message. I'm not sure who is what, but you can see the characteristics of good government, including justice, one of these ladies, concord, peace, and wisdom. And there is a contrast with the negative aspects of the bureaucracy, of a bad government, such as division, greed, fury, vainglory, and tyranny. And although this was painted in 1339, I don't think much has changed until today, when we compare good and bad government. So there is a delicate balance between what is good and bad bureaucracy, and what we have to do is push towards the good dimensions of bureaucracy. And we want to tell a story where the bureaucracy is not seen as part of the problem, but as part of the solution. Where the bureaucracy can actually listen to the citizens, build mutual trust, attract and retain talent, because people want, when they go every morning at their office, to feel that they're doing something meaningful, something that has an impact in daily lives. So, who we are? We are the Directorate General for Reform Support of the European Commission, commonly known as DG Reform. And you could say that we are as close as you can get to a bureaucracy, a European bureaucracy. We hope the good side of it. And we support countries, regions, and cities in the European Union with modernizing the way they deliver services to the citizens. How exactly do we work? A lot of you think that the European Commission is just a lawmaker and a controller. But what we are really doing, we are a service provider. So we operate on demand. We are demand-driven. Countries send us the request every year, end of October. It's a cycle. And they say what are the reform priorities across public administration, whether it's energy sector, human resources, corruption, financial markets, or we can even have tailored demands, like the one we're going to do now on helping member states to deal with the requirements of the new migration pact. Then we help them design the projects, and we mobilize the right set of experts, either in-house or from international organizations, even private companies, to put together the right set of skills to deliver the reform on the ground, not on the PPT, not academic approaches. And moreover, we do more than just supporting individual projects. We can bring countries together. So we have an overview of what works and why in member states and what are the common challenges. And we can bring together several countries, for example, that want to tackle issues in their integrity framework, or how they can improve the human resources management or the schools of government, both at the multi-country level, but even within regions. So regions in different countries facing the same challenges can be brought together, learn from each other, and implement common solutions. Some of the challenges that European bureaucracies face are very known to you: meeting higher expectations with less money, dealing with increased complexity, and above all, attracting and retaining talent. Why do young people with skills don't want to work for public administrations? So the world around is changing very quickly, and the bureaucracy needs to adapt, continuously monitor the challenges, and reinvent itself. 2, what is compact? It's the first time that European Commission has a very concrete vision for delivering better public services in a communication that we call Enhancing the European Administrative Space, and the loving acronym, COMPACT. So COMPACT is a platform for better collaboration across the EU with a focus on some key challenges. 3 pillars. First, skills agenda. Second, digital transformation. And third, green public administration. Under each pillar, we have set up, in collaboration with the experts from the member states, in what we call the expert group for public administration, concrete actions that will advance our mutual learning, knowledge creation, and capabilities. And we have put together a monitoring tool to assess progress and see where we're lagging behind to put more effort. We use these 3 thematic pillars to nudge the demand for reform support from the member states and bring them together in this multi-country approach I talked about. And this is what we call demand-driven. For this year's call, we have 4 flagships, 1 for each pillar, plus the Public Administration Cooperation Exchange flagship, PACE. So let's say that auditors in Germany face some challenges with leveraging AI to improve their audit work. They can go on certain mission for a couple of weeks, 1 month, to France or any other country, work together on the ground with real auditors, real experts, and see how they can improve their way of working. What can they take, what lesson learned they can take, adapt it to their own reality, and improve their capacities and the impact of their audits. These 3 pillars are complementary building blocks to what we call building the bureaucracy for the future. And we're aiming to help countries design reforms that are all about organizational transformation, addressing the root causes of inefficiencies and not just the symptoms. We want reforms for open, collaborative, and future-oriented learning organizations. When we mention skills in the first pillar, it's not about individual skills and trainings and capacity building, which can be part of it, but it's not all about it. We do need people with strong skills, but we want to think about systemic skills and capabilities across teams, across departments, and across sectors. Why? Because collaboration across government and across countries to address cross-border challenges is a necessary requirement for bureaucracies to become facilitator for reforms. The same goes between national and subnational level, how central governments can help regions, municipalities to improve policy design and service delivery. So it's always difficult where to start. There are so many opportunities for reforms. And it's never easy to identify priorities and design something meaningful that will have a sustainable impact. One way to open up mindsets within public administration is to enhance capacity to reflect through a form of internal consultancy. Not just to reduce dependence on external experts, as the European Court of Audit in a recent report said, that we have to also to improve internal capacity, but also to build on the synergies between what public administration has to offer with its own skills and capacities. We see a growing interest between countries to build internal consultancies, and we currently have a multi-country project with 7, Austria, Belgium, Cyprus, Czechia, Greece, France, and Lithuania, on how they can build this internal capacity to design and implement reforms. Internal consultants can take different forms. It can be a platform approach, where you have a knowledge center to share solutions, what works and why, in one municipality to another, or from central government regional level. It can be a center for organizational transformation where public organizations go and ask for hands-on support, not theory, not academic approaches. How can I improve my procurement capacity? How can I use framework contracts, dynamic purchasing agreements? How can a small municipality with 40, 50, 60 employees use all these modern tools? Because at the PPT level, everything looks easy, but in real life, it's a little bit different. So this pool of knowledge can accelerate capacity building inside the bureaucracy and design meaningful reforms. We see this multi-country project that public administrations have different visions of what internal consultancy could look like and how it could support the public organizations within its member state. And this is how it is exactly interesting to have 7 countries. In Austria, it was launched last week. I was talking with a colleague just before. See how are the different approaches, how we can bring them together. Already? Time flies.
I leave you 1 other minute. Or
2, thanks.
I'm staying here.
So, third, yes, this, you are my control.
Yes.
So, greening bureaucracy is also a very interesting project, not in the traditional sense, but thinking about how we can integrate green into the way we do budgeting, in the way we build gender policy, in the way we design reforms. Number 3, why is it important? 51.5% of EU GDP is the public sector, 21% of EU workforce, and 670 billion of annual public procurement. We have to make the single market work, and this is a core foundation for improving Europe's competitiveness. So, since my internal control is very rigorous and looking at me, let's stop talking only about academic approaches. Let's not only have conferences, which are good, and let's talk about implementation. You can reach out to DG Reform. We can help member states and public organizations design really meaningful, tailored reforms and help them from the design phase to the implementation on the ground in a time span from 12 to 24 months usually to really change the way they work on the ground. So, let's do some more networking, let's do some more academic approaches, but let's go and deliver, design and deliver reforms. Many thanks, and all the best for your next steps. Thanks. I accelerated in the second half.
Yes, I see. There was this acceleration. I like the sentence you had, like, conferences are good, but let's talk about implementation. I would say not but and let's talk about implementation, right? So we have a break now. If someone has an absolutely emergency to ask a question to Angelos, I would take one short question and a short answer. We have one? Where? Ah, there. Yes, yes, please. Let's do this. I know we are a little bit over time, and we need a break, but we want a question.
Hey, hi. Angelos, very quickly, you talked about team-level skills. Could you just explain that concept a bit more, rather than individual capabilities?
Yeah, so let's take a very concrete example of the audit community, audit experts. So building, we can have a professional designation, all these international certifications, or we can have knowledge, platforms of knowledge and community of practitioners. So how we can bring together experts from the different member states and build what we say, we talk about competency passports. So what do you think to be, what do you need to be a good procurement professional today? It's not so easy as we think. You take someone from another function and you tell him or her, tomorrow you're going to be a procurement officer. And then we discuss why procurement is not so efficient, why it's not value for money, both integrity-wise, but also efficiency-wise. So bringing together these team skills around procurement, finance, integrity, audit, business functions, policy design, better regulation. We cannot leave only the political staff with their advisors doing the job. We have to invest into the capacity of public administration for the continuity, build this functional team knowledge. This is what we're talking about. So enjoy your coffee break.
Yes,
Can I do that?
10 minutes.
And
Yeah.
you'll be back in 10 minutes for the
What?
next session.
Do you want my job?
No, no, no.
Ah, okay.
Only your salary.
Thank you.